and gentlemen, welcome back to Planet Tyro. I'm your host, Donald Wanda, joined again with my other co-host,
your biggest, best buddy, old boy,
aka Catface Killer. I bet you didn't notice that I saw you call yourself the Catface Killer. What the hell are you thinking?
Well, you always call me Catface, so I was just like, well,
Killer.
Maybe if I was like a rapper, that could be my name.
The Killer. That's what I'm gonna call you from now, the Catface Killer. And we're here to talk about an anime manga title that I think my co-host got a lot to say about. And I've actually been following the anime up until recently, where they've had this show's been going on for, I don't even actually checked how long it's been going on for. It's been going on for probably over 10 years. Very popular in the shonen sports anime action genre of things. And what is the name of this title, my man?
It's called Hajime no Ippo, The First Steps. This came out, the manga came out 1989, still ongoing.
Really?
Yeah, then the original anime ran 2000, and then the other ones came out every couple years later.
Damn, I didn't even know it was that old. And
dude, you reach 1,000 chapters, you better be running for a long time.
And it's still ongoing to this day, yeah?
Still ongoing, dude.
And you've been let's say a loyal follower of the manga, have you not?
The funny thing is, like, I stopped reading this shit. I think I stopped reading this shit maybe a little bit after we started Dreamcast, to give you kind of a time frame. I don't think the story's progressed that much since then.
So you stopped reading about 2012, 2013 then?
Yeah, around then.
So for the people who don't know, and you really should if you're watching this video, what is Hajime no Ippo? Or actually the English title was The Fighting Spirit as well. What is the story about and who's it involved?
The main character is Ippo, and he's just he's a really strong guy. He lives with his single mom at the start of the series, and they're like they do fishing tours or something, so he got really strong being the gopher guy for the customers. But he's kind of a wimp or something, or maybe he's a coward. I think he's just like, he's kind of a meat guy, and he wants to change. He has a burning desire to change. He takes up boxing, and from there on, it's just a long journey of him boxing.
Him becoming a boxing champion, to be exact. And,
that is correct.
I found that people found this anime somewhat inspirational, very exciting, and me myself, speaking about the anime, which I'll quickly jump to, it's exactly the same as what you just described in the manga. There's no difference in the premise. This young kid who wants to be a boxing champion because he's weak, whatever. And he goes through a series of tournaments, series of battles, he has rivals, he has friends. It's very simple, and let me just start by saying the anime is ongoing as well, but they break the anime into seasons. I think the first season, the first run of the anime was something like 60 or 70 episodes. Then there was another series called Next Challenger, I believe. And then there's another series, the one I just missed, that was released 2014-13. I forgot what that's called, I put it on the screen. And my problem with the show is, I don't have a problem with sports anime for the most part. I don't like it when it gets into perpetual territory, which to my experience, this story is going on for goddamn way too long. I mean, even the boxer's sports lifespan is kind of short. I think it's like a 20 to 30 year window of them being active. This show's going on longer than like a natural boxer's life expectancy in terms of the sport itself. So, and the story really is dragging on to the point where I'm like, guy, just win or whatever. I don't know, man. I've actually lost interest with this anime, but I do have good to say. But I just want to say I've lost interest with this because it's just gone on for too long, in my opinion.
How long do boxers normally have a career?
Well, using Mike Tyson's example, I think he started boxing when he was like 18, and he got disqualified for whatever he did. But I think most boxers start at, it's like a 20-year period. You start, let's say 18 to 20. By the time they're 40, they're out.
Dude, I think at least by the time I stopped reading it, a little bit after chapter 1000, I think like only 3 or 4 years had passed. I
know, but my point is, in real life, how long was the manga going on for?
From 89, so let me see, 99, 2009 is 20 years.
This is my point.
Holy shit.
And you just said it only covered 4 years, right?
So I think around 4 years, yeah.
That's my point, you see. And it's not just, forget about the span of time. Maybe that's a bad example. I'm just saying, I'm watching these series go on, and he's making very little progress. In a set, he does, spoiler, he does win the championship and becomes a world champion, But I'm watching the story progress, and I feel like, what is the point? Why am I watching this anymore? All I see is, I know you're going to get into a little bit more intricacy, but I feel like it already hit its peak, and now I'm just watching the rinse and repeat. And I know people say that's what sports shows are, but I always feel like sports shows get to a certain crescendo and then it's over. But this show seems to just be going on and on and on, and nothing's really developing. And for me, I would like it to bow out. So what do you feel about that?
Well, going back to what you said about the crescendo, it never reached the crescendo while I was reading it. I mean, it's gone on for so fucking long. Let me talk a little bit more in detail about the actual story, okay?
Please.
Very early on, he has a rival named Miyata, and they start off in the same weight division, but that's because in boxing, they'll try to get themselves at their peak physical performance at their weight division, and Miyata would one weight division lower, which is where Ippo is. So they very early on, like the first what is it, maybe 10 or 20 chapters, they actually fight each other, and you know that rivalry develops. And 1,000 chapters later, they still haven't fought once. What the fuck? What the fuck? I mean, seriously, why am I reading this shit? If that was one of the biggest plot points, they still never fucking addressed it.
Sorry, because I do apologize to the audience. They probably scratched their head at why am I going to ask this, but by name, I don't know who you're speaking about, but everyone Ippo's met, he's fought with, except for one of the guys in his own training.
That's the guy who starts out in his own gym, and then later on leaves it. That's Miyata.
Okay, but they're in different weight classes, right? Isn't he in the heavyweight?
They are.
And that's why, yeah. And obviously, just in the anime.
No. You're talking about the dude with the pompadour, right?
Yeah.
No, not him. There's another dude that's around his weight class at the very beginning of the series. I don't know if he's in the anime, maybe he's not, but in the very beginning of the manga, when Ippo is starting his steps to become a pro, yeah, and for his tests and everything, they trained a lot together and everything, and that he became his rival. And then later on, the dude leaves the gym, and they promise each other to someday fight each other. They never fucking fought each other in 1,000 episodes, or 1,000 chapters. What
you're describing, there's another character that's exactly the same that he did have an encounter with in the last season that I saw in the anime. But putting all that to the side, I just want to address the point I meant about hitting his crescendo, because you felt like he didn't. Here's what I mean. The guy wanted to become a good boxer, he's done that. The guy wanted to become a skilled boxer, he's done that. The guy wanted to become the world champion, he's done that. And like I said, I've seen the guy fight rivals. So for me, it's like, why the fuck is this still going on? Because apart from the other guy I mentioned that he's training with, that's much bigger than him in a different weight class, why is this show going on?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, the manga, in between fights, during the prep period and everything, it's actually, they show the camaraderie between the other guys in his gym and Ippo, and it's funny a lot of the times, but specifically talking about the boxing, it's like, it's exactly what you said. Why the fuck why am I following this? Every fight's the same with Ippo too. This is no spoiler. I'm not gonna tell you whether he wins or loses or whatever, but every fight follows this formula. He's fighting the guy, he gets his ass kicked, he's like getting slaughtered, he falls down for the umpteenth time. Somewhere deep down inside, he pulls his shit together, gets up, fucking finally beats the guy. That's every fight in Ippo.
Now this is where the conversation's gonna get a little bit funny, because some people listening might say, oh, why are you guys complaining? Because that's like perpetual shonen. You know, the difference is, for me, boxing, they're trying to be realistic with this. I know you're going to have a problem with this, that's why I want you to get into this in a minute. They're trying to be realistic, this being a more down-to-earth boxing show with no superpowers, not like One Piece, Naruto, or Bleach. I know, just boxing techniques. So that's why I'm like, if you're trying to do a more traditional story, then have a beginning, middle, and end. Why are we going round in circles that he's done everything that a boxer in the normal life would accomplish and be out? But I don't need to watch this guy for fucking 20 years do the same shit over and over again. As an anime show be ended, then I know it's business, they probably just want the show to go on because it's creating more money, but guys, end the story. The only other thing, by the way, I'm gonna let you speak in there, the only other thing that bothers me is they got this other side plot of him and his girlfriend and them two being very mousy. Fuck that. Get with the girl. That's been going on for years. He still hasn't even got with this girl. I know we spoke about romances before. I hate shit like that. And this girl,
when this shit goes on for like 1,000 chapters, that's too long. Okay,
Please tell me
that's fucking.
they must be together by now. Please.
They I think around like 700 or 800 they actually quote unquote get together, but they're still like super, like you said, awkward and shit with each other a lot of the times.
I've said all I'm going to say about Hajime no Ippo. I want to eat people. I just want to say that I'm disappointed in the show because it was very exciting. The animation for the anime is pretty good, even though the character designs are a little bit weird. The characters are kind of blocky, especially the way they're drawn. But the action scenes, the fighting scenes for anime is very cool, very good. I like that on the aesthetic level. But for me, I always want to see a story that makes sense, and I honestly, everything needs an end. And this show has done everything I wanted it to do, and it's still going on. My problem with the show is that simply, why is this going on when this character's accomplished everything he wanted, and now he's going around in circles, and we're seeing more series, and it's done everything he wants to do. And I don't think I'll watch any more after the last season because they're not getting to the last thing. Maybe he'll fight that guy I'm talking about, but I just think that's my problem with the show. It needs to end. That's it. If that's a legitimate problem to have.
That's your only problem with the show?
I liked it, but the story is going nowhere. So why is it still going on?
Before I even say anything, I want to ask you if they heard this and like, holy shit, this guy is right. We gotta end this shit. And they gave it a nice tie up and they ended it. What would you rate it right now?
That's a good question. Probably a solid B. But
a solid B.
I might bring it down just for the length because they could have. If they do a conclusive ending, then my criticism would then be, you could have made it shorter. You know what I mean? So you can't, at this point, you can't even win. But it would be nice if they do. But for this particular show, they're going down the perpetual shonen route with a very down-to-earth sports show, which doesn't work. With One Piece, it works because they're fantastical and they have like this goal, which is very fantastic in a fantasy setting. Same with Bleach, same with Naruto. There's a lot of elements that keep it interesting. They do just moves. Every couple of episodes you get a different move or a different fighter. It's not interesting. It's not dynamic enough to justify it going on for all these years. So, but as you may force me to do, if I had to stop now, and even if I stop watching it now, I would give it an okay because it's unfinished. If it finishes within the next 2 years, I'll give it a solid B. If it carries on, then anyway, yeah. Okay,
well, solid B is pretty respectable. I recommend people stuff off of solid B's. Okay, well, I get your opinion, I respect it, but everything I'm going to say is kind of contradictory for you, at least for the manga.
Go ahead.
I did see I think 1 or 2 seasons of the anime, and I thought it was pretty alright. If I was going to recommend anybody who really loved boxing, you want to see an anime about boxing, I would probably tell them to watch the Ippo anime. I wouldn't tell them to read the manga. Because my problem with this series, my biggest fucking problem with it is it's not boxing. This is not fucking boxing. They have when you do sports, this is why I don't read a lot of sports manga. You have to fucking follow the rules. They don't follow the rules in this. Ippo ducks under people's belts all the fucking time. They draw it with his head under their waistband. You cannot do that in boxing. That's like a big no-no. You cannot do that. He fights other guys. There's this one dude he fights. The guy's like fucking jumping off the turnbuckles and shit and off the ropes. You don't fucking do that in boxing, dude. Boxing was originally founded when 2 gentlemen wanted to beat the fuck out of each other. They're like, okay, hold on. We need some actual rules here because we're higher class, okay? We need to fucking... I know you guys want to knock each other the fuck out, but let's have like a handful of rules, follow them, we're good, okay? You can't fucking follow a handful of rules in your sports manga. It's not really boxing then. I used to love boxing. I did martial arts, and when I did martial arts, I watched boxing. This is back in the, like 90s to maybe 2000-ish. And during that time, that was towards, I think that was like the height of Tyson's career towards his twilight. And I love Tyson. That was my favorite boxer up until he fucking bit off Holyfield's ear. I mean, I can never defend that, but I liked him as a boxer, dude. I mean, you wanted to see him knock somebody the fuck out. He was hunting all the time. Now they win by points. It's like Shamo. You take boxing, it used to be about you try to knock the fucking guy out. And now it's just win by points. I mean, look at the Mayweather and Pacquiao fight.
Yeah.
Points. Actually, look at Mayweather's career. The guy is super successful. all he does is he hides and then he wears them down by points. I think the guy has like 3 knockouts and 2 of them are technicals. So that's my biggest problem with Ippo. There's good humor in it,
Yeah.
and that's about it. You know, the boxing itself, sometimes, if you're not that familiar with boxing, I guess it could be pretty exciting, but I liked boxing a lot, and it's just, that shit's not boxing. There's actually, funny enough, one of his gym mates, I think it is Oiki, he's the dude with the pompadour, but not the big one, that's Takamura. It's the guy with the lighter hair.
Okay, Takamura's the guy I was thinking about, by the way, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, he actually, this guy is like, Ippo has 2 gym mates who are older than him, who are just so-so boxers, but he has like the funniest fucking fight later on in the series, and they advertise him as being like a ninja because he's tricky and stuff. This is what I'm talking about, it's not boxing. He does this move where it's not even ducking, he like squats down and you fucking just Superman punches up with a spring. You can't do that in boxing, dude.
Okay, well, let me just interrupt you because I know some people probably think it's anime. Why you keep saying it's not Busking? But me and you do have the same criticism because, in a sense, I felt like they're trying to balance it being more of a grounded boxing show, but you're complaining that it's not. But I agree because they're trying to go down the perpetual shonen route where they keep going in circles. But if this was more traditional, it would be more realistic and it would be shorter. But as you said, they're adding super moves and all these illegal moves and they're going on forever. So my question to you is, since you tried to twist this shit on me, if they were more realistic, would you still be happy with it going on for 1,000 chapters anyway?
I would feel better about it if it was actual boxing, but no, it's just, it's supposed to be a boxing series. Give me boxing. Don't give me, I mean, if you want to do all this crazy wacky shit, just make like a bunch of delinquents make a fight club or something with looser rules.
So you wouldn't mind. Your main problem is that it's just not boxing. If it was boxing, you would be like, okay, I can still read it, and you know, even pass.
No. I still have a problem with the length, dude. But that my main criticism is it's not boxing. Okay. The length is still a criticism. Yeah. I mean, would I be able to stick with it at this point? I've chopped down all the series I followed from like 30 to 5. If I'm just reading that much, you know, it's whenever it gets released, I'll follow it. It's not that hard for me to do. You know, they release like 17 pages or whatever once a month, every 2-3 months. That's not hard to follow. But it's just Jesus Christ. I mean, like, it is long, and I don't know, dude. I think if it was actual boxing, I could probably follow it. But if it's too silly, it's not. You're supposed to be. It's like if we were watching a martial arts thing, and the guy you're following doesn't do martial arts, he just fucking runs around and he just haymakers people and stuff.
Well, let me wrap this up because I will say doesn't bother. I have that element you're talking about doesn't bother me so much because I'm giving it more leeway because it's anime and I expect certain elaborate. Was that right term to them embellish a little bit on these things? But I see where you're coming from as a martial artist, which is why your perspective is unique. But as for me, it's it's other things that hold it back for me. But let's just leave it here because I think people get the gist and we can go on forever about this show because I just want people to understand, because some people did ask what I think of Hajime no Ippo. I will tell you this, I'm going to watch this season that I missed and this is it. I'm done with it. I'm done with it after that. And I don't know, to be honest with you, I could stop now, but for some reason I'm just drawing the line in the sand there. So people, that's enough of that. People, let us know what you think in the comments down below. Have you watched Hajime no Ippo? Have you read Hajime no Ippo? Do you agree with us? Do you think that we should keep watching or reading until it eventually ends, which I don't think it's going to do anytime soon? Let us know in the comments below. And on that note, Catface, I do apologize to put my foot in your mouth to put a stop to this, but we do need to stop because you know what? This podcast doesn't need to be as long as Hajime no Ippo because it can very well be.
Shit. Man, can you imagine that? We'll fucking be here till tomorrow.
Not on my account. So people, Catface Killer. Tell the people how they can contact you if they want to let them know let you know what they think about their manga.
Well, first of all, I'm gonna give it a rating because you're trying to cut me off too fast.
We have to. Come on, wrap it up. Go on.
Okay. Hey, you know what? We're talking about something that's dragged on too long. Let me drag it out a little bit, okay? Okay. Probably, if you really liked boxing, I would tell you to watch the anime, which, you know, like you said, it'd probably be a low, solid B, maybe a higher watchable. I would say that this is an acquired taste. I mean, you gotta really fucking love boxing, and if you like boxing that much, you probably don't want to watch it because they're doing shit that's not boxing. I mean, when you watch a boxing match, you want to see some dude jumping over the ropes and shit? No, that's not boxing. So, you know, acquired taste at best for the manga. If you want to get a hold of me, I have Twitter that nobody follows me on
Yet.
yet. Yeah, ever. I think it's _old boy. Is that
That's
it?
the one. Famous last words, by the way.
Famous. No, those aren't cooking my last word. Actually, you know, it'd be kind of funny if you were at my bedside, and that's just how I was talking. I'd be like, my Twitter is the _old boy. Follow me. And I just died.
Yeah, that is. It could very well happen, guys. And obviously, you can get a hold of me at just Planet Tyro, at Planet Tyro on Twitter. And again, guys, thanks for listening, watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, that like button, and leave a goddamn comment because we need more comments. Let other people know that you actually listen to this all the way to the end and have something constructive to say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if all these other guys I once in a while talk to are actually Don Juan under accounts or what.
We got too many other recordings, which we're going to get to right now. So on that note, guys, we'll see you later.
Peace.
Peace.